It was a great weekend. Proud of our guys for their efforts on the court. Got two big home wins. Was very thankful for the great atmosphere and environment here at the CFSB Center. A great fan turnout, tremendous student support. And now we're on to Eastern Illinois. Team playing very good basketball right now. Have won their last 4 games. I think Coach Boonhauer does a terrific job. So we need a great week of practice and preparation for another tough game on Thursday.
What's been the turnaround for them? Just schedule or playing better in certain areas or what?
Probably a combination of the two. They got stuck where I think their last 3 non-league games were on the road, and then first 4 conference games were on the road, and then they got to go back home, and I believe they're undefeated at home this season overall. So I think getting back to the friendly confines there, and they had an injury toward the middle of December that changed their rotation a little bit. So I'm sure just getting more comfortable with each other there.
And they also have, I think, is it George Dixon, a newcomer, averaging about 8-9 rebounds a game.
A really good player, very skilled, can score the ball in the post. He's an outstanding offensive rebounder, top 5 in our league. Long arms, really active, physical player. Of course, they have Josiah Wallace back, who was an all-league performer a year ago, who's played terrific their last 10 games or so. His production's way up. And, I think Coach Boonhauer always does just such a great job of identifying really good junior college players who have come in and impacted his program.
I know a big key for Gilmore getting a lot of extra playing time last year was his work ethic and practice and even how he played in Saturday's game. How much has he progressed and continued that work ethic into this season to help bolster the depth that you talked about?
Well, I think we all know he brings great athleticism to our team, and we're always trying to push him to play with great motor and great energy so he can showcase all of his abilities. What you've seen this year is just a really incredible offensive efficiency from him because I think he understands his role within the framework of the team, and he doesn't try to go outside that role. So you see him taking a lot of high percentage shots, really active on the offensive glass, getting out and running in transition. I thought his ability on Saturday night to finish plays at the back end of the press was really a big key in us being able to finish that game.
Also about DeQuan Smith, too, who's played really well, and this past week had to play more because of Chico Carter, especially Saturday night. Has been real efficient, too.
Well, he shot the ball so well since the beginning of OVC play, over 50% from 3. I think he might have dropped slightly below after Saturday night, but I just think you see his explosiveness and getting more and more comfortable and confident. He's really bouncing up off the floor on his jump shot, getting great elevation, which I don't think you saw back in November and early December. So he looks very confident to me, and then I think you just see him getting more and more comfortable being the guy who's running the team. Those 8 assists, 1 turnover. He's been fantastic for us, and he's been very good defensively as well. So still a lot of work to be done, but I'm very pleased with his progress.
Any update on Chico?
Still just was out with an illness on Saturday night. Hopefully it'll just be a day-to-day ordeal for him to get back in practice and ready to roll this weekend.
We've talked a lot about DeMond this year and kind of his progression as a freshman. Last couple of games, you really tried to get him going early. How much is that kind of a focal point for you guys, trying to get him inside going and build his confidence up and using the assets that he brings?
Well, I think he brings that physicality to our team at both ends of the floor. He's really able to impact us defensively with his ability to protect the rim, block and challenge shots. And then offensively, I really like his skill level. I think he's got a beautiful jump hook around the goal. You saw him Saturday night with a nice catch and face, 12-foot jump shot in the post. I thought he did a great job Saturday night establishing himself around the basket early. Want to see him continue to do that because of his size and his strength around the goal.
Is the biggest challenge with him being a freshman just trying to the conditioning and trying to get him where he can do this, more consistently throughout the entire game?
I don't think it's conditioning. I think it's just continuing to get more and more experience. But the thing about him that I love, he just plays extremely hard. He does everything that he's asked to do. Just wants to do whatever he can do to impact the team and help us win. So I think you'll just see him continue to get better because he carries those traits.
Can you talk to us about the development of KJ's three-point shot? He seems to be, I don't know how to gauge confidence, but he's taking one or two of them per game in conference play, and he's knocking them down at a fairly good rate.
Well, he should be confident in it. He's a good three-point shooter. He's worked extremely hard on it in the offseason. Had a great summer shooting the basketball. I think you've seen his percentages go up in conference play because he's taken higher quality threes than he was taking in the non-conference portion of the season. But it's like anything else. You know, if you want to have a 6'10" guy who's going to make threes, you got to shoot some of them. And so, you know, I want him taking high percentage shots, and he should have full confidence to step up and knock those down. He had a huge one on Thursday night against Belmont with about 6 minutes to go. So we believe in him as a shooter. Now, at the same time, I don't want him to get away from where he's really, really good, which is, you know, being the all-time single-season field goal percentage leader in Murray State history by being really efficient around the basket. And Saturday night, did a great job getting to the free throw line, and where he's had a little bit of struggles this year, went 8 for 8 on Saturday, so I hope he'll take a lot of confidence from that.
Tell us about the evolution of Tevin Brown from last year, kind of lurk in the corner and wait to shoot. I realize the reason why, but he's really, goes inside, makes some terrific passes as well, has an entire game at his disposal right now.
The thing I love is he hasn't gotten away from that great asset he has, which is being an elite three-point shooter. So you still see that. Where I think you see the growth in this game, number one would be his movement without the basketball. I think he does a really nice job of freeing himself up, using the screens, reading the screens to make the right plays there. Secondly, his ability to get by off the dribble has really improved to create points for himself. I think the third thing that really stands out is his playmaking. I think the last 4 games, right around 7 assists a game. He's 4.5 assists a game in league play. Is really making good decisions when he does put the ball on the floor and attack the painted area. And then the final piece of it is his ability to get to the free throw line. I think that's where he's taken a huge step. I believe it was right around Christmas time. He had already taken the same amount of free throws this season as he did for the entire freshman campaign. So I think you just see him continuing to get better and better in all areas of his game.
Speaking of Tevin, he's averaging over 38 minutes per game. Why is it so important for you guys to have him out there, and how is he able to maintain that level of play from beginning to end?
I've just always been a big believer in having your best players on the floor as much as you can. He's well conditioned, an elite level athlete in that regard. So, but it's important for us because of his familiarity with what we're trying to get done at both the offensive and defensive end of the floor. He's a guy who doesn't make many mistakes on the court, either end of the court, and he's just someone we need out there because of his ability to make the people around him better, not only with his three-point shooting but his playmaking ability. And then I've said it since he got here, I think he's a high-level perimeter defender. So we need his presence felt at both ends of the court.
Since the start of conference play, number 2 in minutes is Javion Eaves, and he's a guy last year that saw a lot of special spot minutes in your rotation. How much has he changed just even since Christmas to become this reliable piece?
Well, hard work and commitment on his part. I think we talked about it back even in the fall, the improvements he made to his body to lose weight, to get his body fat percentage lower, which has obviously improved his conditioning level, which enables him to play longer stretches. But I think he's been a big key to our team getting better. I think his offensive efficiency has really improved here in the last 10 games. You see him getting high-quality shots where I think he's an elite-level shooter, and his numbers reflect that in league play. And I think he, like Tevin, does a great job of using screens and very smart offensive player. So very proud of his growth and development, and looking forward to a strong finish to his senior year.
Saturday you got 19 assists on 25 baskets. You have a team, once again, that seems very content on passing the ball to the right read. how are you developing that as each week passes, knowing that opponents are keying in on certain players?
Well, I think it's very important for our team. I think it's fun to watch a team play the game that way. I want us to share the ball and play with great unselfishness, pass up good shots to get great shots. I think it's enabled us to have better balance, both in the post and on the perimeter. And I think it's a big reason why you see our three-point percentage is a lot higher over the last 10 games as compared to the first 10, because of the improved offensive execution and sharing of the basketball.
As a basketball coach and someone who loves the game, how tough was yesterday?
Oh man, that was a shocking day. I still don't think it's quite set in. For me, I look at it as a parent. I think I was born about 3 months before Kobe Bryant, same age. His daughter was 13. My oldest daughter's 11. So I just can't imagine what the family's going through. Obviously, we know he's a global icon. But for me, it's more the parent side of it. And then one of the things I always really respected about him, my wife Mary was a really good player at Furman University. My 2 daughters have really fallen in love with the game of basketball recently. And I just felt like Kobe's been a champion for women's basketball, a big-time promoter and advocate of how good the women's game is. And so that really stood out to me. And then I think, to get to the coaching piece, if you want to be great at what you do, I think you probably spend a lot of time studying the best in different fields. And obviously Kobe Bryant was one of the best of all time. And I think his work ethic, his mentality is the thing I really took away and have tried to study and pass along to our players, some of those stories of his drive and competitiveness, that I think really make an impact on our players. You try to share those stories with them to drive home the message. So, those would be my first thoughts off the top of my head. But obviously a very, very sad day for not only basketball, but for everyone.
How did the players take it? I saw a lot of tweets yesterday.
Yeah, well, you got to realize that for them, that's one of the guys they've grown up watching every day, and trying to emulate his moves and following his historic performances and championships. So, I think it really, you see a lot of the videos floating around of the different players and coaches and how it's impacted them. I mean, it's devastating, heartbreaking for millions and millions of people.
And yesterday too, of all the 24-second violations, Ja was one of them as well. Was there a moment there at all in which you realized that maybe Ja's had that same type of work and mentality as Kobe Bryant?
Well, it's very, very sad. I know Ja was heartbroken, and I think he had just received an autographed Kobe Bryant jersey directly from Kobe, and I think like all players, he grew up watching the greatness, and I'm sure that had a tremendous impact on Ja's mindset and how he approaches every day. So I think you could see on his face the impact that it made on him.